realize that we are kind of being manipulated, you know?
Yeah, there's this really fascinating documentary by this director named Adam Curtis. It's called Century of the Self. I believe he did a few documentaries. I'm pretty sure that's the one I'm thinking of. But anyway, it's about Anna Freud, who was it was Sigmund Freud's niece, I believe. Anyway, she took psychoanalysis and basically turned it into marketing psychology in the United States, and then the CIA found out about it, and then it turned into this whole thing during the post-war period of using psychology to weaponize propaganda in these very surgical ways, like what you described. If you see something, say something, right? Because then at that point, you've created what Michel Foucault would have called a panopticon. You don't actually even need anyone to actually say anything. You just need the people to think that someone else might say something if they see something, right? And then you've created the big brother, the all-seeing eye, right? And it turns out there is no all-seeing eye because there doesn't have to be, because now you're monitoring yourself because you're afraid someone else might be. And that's exactly how it works. I mean, this literally goes back. This was an idea developed initially by Jeremy Bentham, who was this British utilitarian philosopher, and he developed this idea for a prison. And I don't think one was ever built like this, but it was like a ring, and there was like a courtyard, and so all the cells were facing into this courtyard, and in the middle of it there was going to be a tower. And the idea is that there would be, like, I guess some curtains or mirrors set up or something in the tower so that there could be a guard in the tower that could see into any of the cells. And the idea here would be that the prisoners in those cells would never actually know whether they were being watched or not. And ultimately what would happen here is you would not actually need to have a guard in that tower anymore, because it wouldn't even matter. They would monitor themselves because just of the possibility that they might be being watched. And so, yeah, that kind of psychology goes all the way back to the origins of this kind of like proto-industrial world that would eventually become modernity. And yeah, it's dystopian as fuck, man. And now we're living in a world where that kind of thing is being used in even more surgical ways with the algorithms and things like that. I mean, I know lots of people have talked about this, but it still blows my mind. I mean, I can just like casually talk about like cat food. I don't own a cat. And then next thing you know, like my phone is going to be trying to sell me cat food. It's like the way in which social engineering has become a science in itself is kind of horrifying. And then, like, on the back of that, you've got data brokering, which is a whole thing now, there are no laws.
The brain and how it sees those subliminals and is affected by it.